When Karen decided my private ATV trail was too disruptive for her delicate lifestyle, she didn't complain, she hijacked it. She put up fake signs, blocked it with furniture, and claimed it ran through community property. Big mistake. What she didn't know? I had legal ownership of the land, and an even bigger surprise waiting. If she thought my trail was noisy before, wait until she had to live next to where I rerouted it right through something unforgettable. I live on a few peaceful acres tucked just outside a suburban HOA. My property line runs along a wooded edge where I carved out a small ATV trail for myself and a few buddies. Nothing wild, just some weekend fun. That was until Karen moved in. Her property was adjacent to mine. The first day she introduced herself, she didn't say hi. She said, "You'll need to shut down those noisy dirt bikes. This isn't a carnival." I smiled politely and said, "It's private property, Karen, but I keep it to weekends and midday." Big mistake calling her by name. She hated that. From then on, Karen declared war. At first, she tried noise complaints, called the HOA, which had no authority over my land. Then she called the county. When inspectors showed up and saw everything was compliant, they just shrugged and left. So Karen escalated. One afternoon, I came home to find a blockade across my ATV trail, old patio furniture, garbage cans, and a sign that read, "Trail closed, protected wetland area, HOA violation number 87-2, which, for the record, is completely made up. I pulled out my phone, documented everything, and calmly moved the debris. But that wasn't enough. The next day, she added a lockable gate at the entry point of my trail. On my land. I was furious. I marched over and knocked on her door. She opened it halfway and said, "If you'd stop disturbing the peace, this wouldn't be necessary. We're all tired of your mud machines scaring the birds." I replied calmly, "Karen, this is trespassing, obstruction, and impersonation of the HOA. Take it down, or I will, and not the way you'll like." She slammed the door. That's when I decided it was time to teach Karen a lesson she wouldn't forget. I went to the county recorder's office, pulled property line maps, and made copies. Then I visited the HOA board, not because I had to, but to make sure Karen couldn't twist any stories. Finally, I called my old buddy Chuck, who runs a farm nearby. "Hey man, you still got that pigsty on the east pasture?" Chuck laughed. "Sure do, why?" I grinned. "I've got a trail that needs rerouting. Right through it." The plan was simple. Karen wanted my original trail blocked? Fine. I'd reroute the entire thing around her house, down the back, through Chuck's pasture where his pigs roam freely. We laid out a brand new ATV trail, legal, mapped, and 100% mine and Chuck's property. I paid to widen the trail slightly, added soft gravel for grip, and made sure it passed right behind Karen's bedroom window. But the best part? The pigs. Chuck had 20 or so hogs who liked to wallow near the fence line. And if you've never smelled pig slop in the summer heat, Karen was about to get a life-changing education. That Saturday, we had our trail opening ride. I invited 10 ATV friends. We revved those engines, roared through the newly routed trail, waved at Karen as we passed, and headed straight for the pig pasture. Karen came out screaming like someone had set her porch on fire. "This is animal abuse! This is a public nuisance! I'm calling the FBI!" Yes, the FBI. My buddy Jeff held up the county maps and yelled, "All legal, ma'am!" The pigs, unbothered, kept oinking and rolling in mud. Karen? She tried to film us, but slipped in her own sprinkler runoff and landed flat on her lawn. It was beautiful. And it was just the beginning. After our glorious trail grand reopening rolled through the pig pasture, Karen's meltdown reached new heights. She didn't just call the HOA this time. She called animal control, the county office again, and even went door to door trying to get neighbors to sign a petition against me. Problem was, everyone had seen the video. One of my friends had posted a TikTok of our ride, complete with the pigs squealing, our engines roaring, and Karen slipping in the mud while screaming at us like a banshee. It went viral. The caption? "Don't mess with ATV guys or pigs." By Monday, Karen was internet famous for all the wrong reasons. Even the local news caught wind of it. Their story was titled, "HOA Resident Tries to Block Legal ATV Trail Gets Oinked." That night, Karen drove around the neighborhood tearing down flyers for our upcoming Bacon Bash barbecue, a totally real and HOA-approved community cookout hosted by Chuck. Pigs were not on the menu, but the theme, oh, it was loud and clear. But Karen still had fight in her. She filed a civil nuisance complaint, claimed I was intentionally harassing her with smells, noise, and animal waste. She also claimed Chuck's pigs were weaponized livestock. We appeared in court 2 weeks later. I brought my attorney, she brought a binder and a neck brace. The judge, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, asked one question. "Do you have any legal evidence the land use is inappropriate?" Karen opened her binder. Inside, photos of pigs, blurry ATV images, and screenshots from social media. The judge flipped through it unimpressed. Then she asked my attorney to speak. My lawyer calmly submitted property line documents, video evidence showing Karen's original trespassing and illegal gate installation, HOA letters confirming I'm not under HOA jurisdiction, a notarized letter from Chuck stating his pigs had full freedom of pasture since 1998, screenshots of Karen's public threats to shut down my trail by any means necessary. The judge looked at Karen. "Ms. Lathrop, this entire situation began because you took it upon yourself to block someone's legal property and misrepresent HOA authority. You have no case. You owe Mr. Harlan for the time and legal fees. Case dismissed." Karen screamed, like a kettle exploding. "This isn't justice! He's terrorizing me with farm animals!" The judge replied, dry as ever, "Then maybe you shouldn't have started a land war with someone who reads property maps." From that day forward, Karen became a ghost. Her blinds were always drawn. Her lawn, once pristine, grew patchy and brown. She stopped showing up to HOA meetings, stopped yelling at dog walkers, and, most shockingly of all, never once complained when we rode by on the weekends. Because we still did. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. sharp, we'd ride down the trail, give a friendly wave to the pigs, and pass behind Karen's now quiet home. And just for fun, Chuck and I placed a tasteful wooden sign near the pig pasture. "Trail of Oinks, sponsored by HOA Karen." Neighbors loved it. They started taking photos with it. Someone even made it into a magnet and sold it at the farmer's market. I bought one for every fridge in the house. And Karen, last I heard, she put her house up for sale. But every potential buyer asked the same question.
Why does it smell like bacon near the back fence?
If this story made you smile even once, you're exactly the kind of person we love around here. For more wild, petty, and satisfying HOA tales just like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep the stories coming.